listening to the Jiu Jitsu Therapy Podcast with Coach Chris Mize. I am Coach Chris Mize, and this is my podcast. I hope you have a good time with us tonight. Tonight, joining me for part 3 of our Ladies' Night episodes are the wonderful ladies of Heroes Martial Arts Academy. I've got Laura, Caitlin, and Amber all here, and we've been having a good time tonight, so I'm smiling much bigger now than I was even when we first got here. But so we've been hitting on some subjects and some things. So guys, what do you think? We're going to get to that topic we talked about a minute ago. But what do you think one of the hardest parts of jiu-jitsu training is? You know, what do you think? Just talk. What do you think was one of the hardest things that you had to deal with when you started?
Being the only girl and breathing.
Okay.
Being the only girl sometimes.
Right. That's good. And that was very concise too, Caitlin.
Yes.
I like that. Being the only girl and breathing.
It's hard to breathe. It's hard. That
yeah.
is hard. Expanding your lungs.
Or have somebody on you. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
And then you got being the only girl, as in, I don't want nobody to kill me, but I don't want you to take it easy on me, and especially say it to my face. I'm gonna take it easy on you.
Oh, yeah.
That aggravates me.
Bad idea.
That's worse than telling somebody that they're strong in jiu-jitsu. That's the backhanded compliment in jiu-jitsu. Oh, you're strong. You're strong. Yeah. So anyway. So what about you, Laura?
I'll say one of the hardest things. Breathing is one of them. That took a while to learn. But after that, I would say just making sure you stay as consistent as possible. Don't let life kind of get in the way, because once you take days off, it becomes easier and easier to take days off. And sometimes it's good to take breaks, but not always. So I guess being consistent and not getting frustrated with yourself. Like, I had to learn how to forgive myself for a lot of stupid shit that I would do in there. I would be like, just work through it and don't worry about it. It didn't work this time, but maybe next time it'll work. And it does. It really, like we talked about last episode, it really does humble you and kind of opens you up for the whole world to see. Like all your iniquities, anything that you're not strong at,
it's a ripple effect.
all of your weaknesses are like just there. But once you get past that and you build off of them, you become stronger than ever. So it really
negative self-talk. I think people are. That's just something that I assume everybody does it, because I've always done it. I've tried to overcome it over the last 20 years, but just not talking bad about yourself and saying, and that just amplifies everywhere. I mean, because like I said, everything is hard. I mean, at least jiu-jitsu is not easy, and overcoming that hardship is part of it. What about you, Amber?
Well, I think right now my biggest thing is it's still kind of overwhelming to me, and I haven't even began to see the tip of the iceberg. And there's so much, and it, you might be in one position, but you can take that one position 10 different ways. I told somebody the other day that jiu-jitsu reminded me of those childhood stories where, like, you kind of start your adventure and then you got to pick what part, like, did you want to go down this path or that path? And then you had to turn to whatever path, there's so many options on self-defense, regardless of what position you're in. And so I'm still trying to, I will think that I'm doing something that we learned last week, but we're doing something different. It just looks similar. And don't ask me to name anything.
Me too. I know about a handful of names. Some stuff they say, what's that called? What you just did? And I'm like, I have no idea.
I know how to do it. It works. Yeah.
It just worked.
Well, that's a common problem across the board with jiu-jitsu, depending on who your master or jiu-jitsu alignment is with. Everybody has a different name. A scissor sweep could be a simple sweep. I mean, even that has multiple names to it. So yeah. So just come up with your own stuff. as long as you know what it is and you can see. You know,
What
it's
was
this
it?
one.
Monkey hands.
Monkey feet, monkey hands.
Monkey feet, monkey hands. You know,
T-Rex arms.
goose neck. Yeah. So,
Drive the bus.
Drive the bus. So okay. So guys, what's some things that get on your nerves about jiu-jitsu, that people do that you think they should be more conscious of that bothers you? And again, no names, please.
No.
But I'm sure it's a general. There's going to be some stuff that everybody's going to be like, yeah, you're right. We all have the same thought processes on stuff.
Getting upset once someone has made you tap, and then take it out on them when it's time to roll again.
How like you're coming back vengefully.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it in their eyes how mad they are, and they try to come at you. That happened recently.
Oh.
So
you gotta leave that ego at the door.
You do. That's where it comes from. Well, that's rough. I mean, because you guys. Y'all got good jiu-jitsu, and I know that guys. It's sometimes it's tough for guys that aren't balanced out like they need to be when you tap those guys out. Sometimes that's it, but that's part of it.
none of my fault.
No, it's not. Hey, I'm just glad you're to that point. It brings a whole other set of problems. Success brings problems. It's like it's just like you could say you want to have a house and you want to have a lake house. Well, when you have a lake house, guess what? There's a whole lot of other shit you have to worry about. Is someone squatting in my lake house? Oh my God, there was a storm that came through. I wonder if the roof is still on. So, when you get good at jiu-jitsu, it's not that you don't have problems. You just have another set of problems. And you start and it's like, I'm gonna have to sandbag and not, I just don't want to. But anyway, that's good. That's good. I totally get it. Laura, what about you?
Personal hygiene's a big one. Personal hygiene with people is
In
a
this
big
day
one.
and time, it should be for everybody. I mean,
that is not just a jiu-jitsu issue.
No,
people.
deodorant.
Do not be afraid of the bar soap.
No, deodorant is for everyone's benefit, not just your own. Mainly for the benefit of other people. Cut your damn fingernails and toenails, please, before you come onto the mat.
Don't eat a burrito before coming to the mat.
Because you're gonna smell like it.
And fart like it.
that's right.
There's nothing like going knee on belly on somebody and they fart like hell. Like as soon as you do, it just slips out, just like it's just going, oh my God.
At least
That's a great
funny
sound
one.
effect.
That was amazing. That was like a Leslie Nielsen.
When you grow up in a house full of men, that's what happens. No offense.
No, that's good. That's good.
If you need to use that for a soundbite in the future, go ahead.
That was good. I can't do that one. I'll have to get you to do it again.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah, when it comes to the nails thing, and I know I've got ugly toenails, yeah, I got it. But
we don't notice that. We notice how trim they are.
Well, I don't want to gouge somebody's eye out. One time, two components. No, I won't talk too long. But once my cornea got cut with a toenail.
Oh no!
I had to patch that baby up it was back in the 90s.
That sounds like infection, like just so bad.
Antibiotic drops, and patch it. I had a patch on it for 3 days.
So you went from Coach Chris to Captain Chris?
Captain Chris.
There you go.
That's right. And so I'm really aware of that, But one thing who you're talking.
I gotta.
I think Kate's gonna be sick.
I gotta take my glasses off on that one and rub my own eyes.
And it was pretty bad too. But one thing, you're talking to a guy here who cleans mats every day of his life. So I take a lot of pride in cleaning mats, as far as keeping everything clean on the mat. And I've been told that I keep the mats a lot cleaner than I keep anything in my house. But anyway, so when people gnaw their nails off and spit them on the mat.
People do that?
Burns.
It's got to happen, Laura, because I find the nails.
I believe it.
I think some people, the chewing of the nails is a nervous thing.
I stare at them. I stare.
But after being in there working with all of us, I'm not saying that we're not clean. Don't get me wrong, but
when it happens, though, I'm gonna stare at you.
Yeah, but like we're in there like all grappling and sweaty and gross and snatching each other's collars and putting your hands in somebody's pants loops and like slamming them down and that kind of stuff. I can't imagine chewing on my fingernails after doing that.
well, it's just nasty. I don't want to like walk around in your fingernails. That's what I tell the kids. I don't come to your house and spit fingernails and stuff in your house. So, you need to, it's just not nice. It's not good. It's not clean.
Peeking in between their toes.
Yeah, picking toe lint.
Wow, yeah, that happens.
Sheesh.
I have not personally witnessed that, but
It could be. It's not that much of a separation from the other.
yikes.
So, yeah, you were, with all the coronavirus talk and everything, I think there was some discussing, y'all were talking about people
Snotting and
sneezing.
sneezing.
Yeah.
Snotting and sneezing.
Yep.
So, what's the proper etiquette for covering a sneeze?
In the sleeve,
The
like an elbow.
vampire sneeze.
Vampire, the Dracula. So you
Or
cover
the dab on them sneeze.
The dab, that'll work.
There you go.
That'll work.
That's all we want you to do. But even with that, I just think, well, dang, if someone catches, what was that choke?
Rear naked choke.
A rear naked choke, and you just saw them sneeze.
Right.
You all up in that. Your nose is right there.
Right.
It's on your bottom lip. It's right there.
I haven't sneezed on somebody when we've been doing that, but I have, somebody had a choke particularly deep one night, and I had my mouthpiece in, and I actually drooled, like, all down their arm, and I didn't mean to do
Some
it.
things can't be helped.
I apologize. I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, it just kind of,
That happens, though.
Yeah.
my jaw was also really twisted up, and I was like, my bad. I'm sorry. It just happened.
But just don't come to class sick.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not fair to people with children.
We appreciate the commitment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We admire it.
Right.
But we don't want.
It's not fair to people with children, with jobs. It's simply not fair
No.
to come in sick with something contagious.
It's like me. If I'm sick, I will find a suitable, educated person to cover the class so that you guys can have a good class, so that I don't expose all you guys to whatever I've got.
Right.
And I mean, that's just nice. You don't want me to give you something,
Mm-hmm.
so don't give me something.
Proper etiquette.
You
There you
know? And so I mean that's the thing.
Yeah.
And somebody mentioned something about like, of course I have to be the one that say it, horking up snot, like that. I know that sounds good on the.
And go spit it in the trash can instead of just walking your ass to the bathroom.
At least it's not on the mat, though. There is that. Could be
That's
worse.
true. But I mean, basically what you guys just said though. If you're sick, don't come to class.
Bingo.
If you're coughing up green stuff, if you don't, and I know that you might start feeling bad on the way from work, but guess what? That doesn't mean you need to train. You're probably better off if you just go in and leave. You don't need to like get a big old sweat on. And,
Yeah, it's probably going to turn full
sweat that,
blown.
right?
Yeah.
That flu. That would just contaminate everybody.
Just
Yeah.
let us love you from a distance.
Yeah, man.
That's right. We appreciate
We
it.
will encourage you. Yeah.
We don't ever, nobody, we're not real big on making people feel bad about when they can't come to class anyway. We know that everybody wants to come in and train. So we're not like that anyway.
Let me miss you.
I'll be worried about you from afar.
That's right. It's better that way. It's better that
I
way.
will send you text messages, but I'm not going to come into your flu-riddled house.
Right.
Don't come into mine.
Right. Well, let's talk about this for a second.
Okay.
Goals. Individual goals. I mean, what's some things you can do short, long term, whatever, or just one, whatever. Maybe something that you're just going through now that you're trying to work through and trying to get better at a different, one thing.
Okay, I'll tell you mine.
Oh, absolutely.
They're kind of silly, but
There is no such thing.
no.
Amber.
No.
obviously, the main goal here is to be able to defend yourself.
That's the way we look at it anyway at our school.
Right. But I've gotten it in my head now that I'm, because I love being a couch potato, eating all the food, sleeping all the time. I'm lazy as all get out. But two short-term goals would be to start doing more simple exercises, push-ups and squats, and I want to be able to do the splits. But I guess one of my long-term goals, again, everything being self-defense except the splits, I've never been able to do that. I want to be able to say for once in my life that I was able to do the splits.
Right.
I really really look forward to the day that I know enough about jiu-jitsu that we can just go in there, whether it's, a couple of us, or if it's, just me and Chris, and just turn the music up really, really loud, some ghetto rap or some rock and roll, and just beat the shit out of each other. Because
nobody
what
dies.
better way, of
Right.
course, but what better way to, like,
Right.
you're still training, you
Yeah.
know, you're really not trying to kill yourself, but if you're really fighting for a submission, you're having a great time, you're improving your game, your self-defense, and you're feeling good about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you start at one end of the mat and then just end up all the way up. That's how you know.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. That's
And
the
I
best.
know
fun.
I've got a long, long way to go because Chris is a brown belt. I'm a white. I don't even have a stripe. But every night I look at him and I'm like, oh, one day I'm gonna whip your ass. It's coming.
I would say he is a little susceptible to the bow and arrow choke. I will just tell you that. But anyway,
I got
just
some
kidding,
tricks
Coach.
for
Just
me.
kidding, Coach. But we all are. We're all very susceptible to the bow and arrow if you get
Bingo.
caught there. Right. But yeah, that's good. That's
That's an awesome goal.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's good. That's good. All right, guys. What about you?
I have a lot of goals, and this one is silly.
Okay.
I just cannot wait to walk in there and be able to have my trainer on, of course, but take off my shirt, put on my gi, and just have my six-pack out.
There you go.
Right.
I mean, at my first tournament, this girl was just, when I tell y'all, I've never seen that in
Like an
life.
8-pack.
I mean, this girl was bad. She had a six-pack, and it was just, I mean, I went ahead and touched it. I'm not going to lie. I was rolling, because I was like, this just can't be real. And I really want that. And I'm working towards it. It's just my eating it needs some work. But that's one goal, just being healthier. And another goal is what I said earlier. Jiu-Jitsu has helped me be a better human. I just want to be better than yesterday.
Awesome.
And just, I'm still learning how to humble myself, how to speak up when I need to speak up, and shut up when I need to shut up. So that's really been helping as well. I mean, Jiu-Jitsu has really been helping with that as well. So, like, I was talking to Jasmine the other day. I said, well, if I just keep doing Jiu-Jitsu, maybe one day you'll win an argument. I'll just shut up and just walk away.
Profound.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good one.
But I mean, just as I grow in Jiu-Jitsu, I'm hoping to grow as a human and just be better for this world. Because it's already
Great goal.
going to shit. So it's like, I love to just be that light in somebody's.
No, that's awesome.
That's an awesome goal.
That is a great goal.
Sweet. Awesome day.
Namaste, bitches. That's great. That's great. What about Laura? What about you?
Well, let's see. I have a few as well. I don't really look at any of them as being silly, and I hope y'all don't either, because those were really awesome goals
No, I mean,
for the two of you. Like, they really
were.
were.
To me, there's nothing. To me, those are all awesome.
Those are
Everybody says
realistic
that's
and
great.
achievable goals, and those are awesome goals to have. I also am working on attaining a healthier lifestyle. Like, I know I'd really gotten into running there for a while and stuff like that. I really want to get back to that, and my cardio was insane when that was going on, and I really want my cardio to improve. I'm learning in Jiu-Jitsu. This is a work in progress kind of thing, and it's become part of a long-term goal is to be more in tune and more in love with my body. And Jiu-Jitsu has made me appreciate for the first time, like, my broad shoulders that I got from my dad.
Yeah.
And my, pretty good set of hips from my dad. Like, just being built the way that I am and things like that. And Jiu-Jitsu has made me appreciate that in a way that I normally did not. Like, when I saw something like, oh, I need to work on that, or it's not, I don't like that about me. And I'm like, oh no, these are great. This is awesome.
That's
like,
huge.
And that's part of the bigger goal is to continue on in that. And ultimately, I really would like to stay in it. I still want to be doing Jiu-Jitsu when I'm like 85 years old, 85 or 90. Like, I want this to be something that's a permanent fixture in my life, and something that I do right up until time for me to leave this world. And like Caitlin, I hope I leave it a much better place than I found it because of jiu-jitsu. So
That's awesome.
That's kind of the
Oh yeah.
that's
Man,
kind of the
I'm
long
just
term.
glad to be in the same room with you guys.
Oh.
I mean, just because y'all are awesome. And, you know, when you talk about, we all talk about body image. One time I had a therapist tell me, if you were a lady, you would have an eating disorder, is what he told me.
Wow.
But I mean,
Yikes.
that's what he told me, and I was like, what are you saying, dude? I mean, you know, he said, he said, you're so wound up, and my body, you know, none of us are happy with where we are. You know, I was an overweight kid, you know, dealing with all those things, and I was always, and we all, male, female, it doesn't matter. We all have the same issues, you know, and just that we were able to do something that affects us in a positive way is just awesome. You know, and I'm not so sure that we all don't have eating disorders of some kind. You know, even if you're undiagnosed.
Seafood, eat it.
That's right. That's right. You know, we all have it.
Yeah.
But you know, man, that is some great goals. Well, I tell you, to me, I think the secret and the success of everything, and Chris Howder, I think, says it best. It's not about who's best, but who lasts. So, you know, coming in and being able to, one, manage your training and your training partners in a way to where it's comfortable for you, and everybody's working together, you know, on it. You can make, you know, it can become something that you can carry with you your whole life. And if you continue to train, I mean, like I said, definitely black belt is something I see you guys accomplishing. I think it's just something, like I said, it's so much. Y'all have given so much to the art already, you know, and it gives. Hopefully, we give, you know, like I said, continue to give to y'all, because I mean, it's definitely. But you get out of stuff what you put into it. What you put your attention on grows, and it's grown for you guys, and it continues to grow. And like I said, I think one thing we can do for each other is always just try to support each other and lift each other up a little bit when we're down. One thing about being on the mat, you know when your brother or sister is down, you know, and so you don't have to wait for the verbal cues. You can just tell sometimes, and that means a big thing too. But you know, we're just all in it together.
It goes back to good communication and the warrior mentality that you mentioned. That we're not. That's not your opponent. That's your teammate.
Well, you got to mix it up a little bit, you know. And one thing we always adhere to is a rising tide raises all boats. So, and for us to get better together, you know, for me to get better, you need to get better so that you raise my level as we go. And that's the way it has to be. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about us together, and we do it. And but anyway, guys, man, this has been awesome. This little series of podcasts that we've done has exceeded my expectation on it. And like I said, I want to have you guys back sometime, and let's do some more stuff, because it's very, very good. And Amber, excellent job on the board.
Thank you.
But
Thanks, Amber.
Thank you, Caitlin, for coming in. Thank you, Laura, for coming in
Thanks
and
for
doing
having
this. Y'all have an open invitation anytime.
Thank you for inviting us, Coach.
It's
Appreciate it.
awesome. Man, you guys are just great. Y'all need your own podcast. But anyway.
That could get wild.
Everyone of you. So,
it really could get crazy.
But anyway, guys, thank you for listening to the Jiu Jitsu Therapy Podcast. If you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, please do so. Coach Chris Bowen is trying to get us on some other formats and stuff like that. It's kind of a little bit of a process. So we're working on that. So maybe we could be on iTunes and some other things to where it would be a little bit easier for you. But tell a friend. And even if they don't know or care about jiu-jitsu, maybe it would be entertaining for them anyway. But again, I hope you guys have a great week, and until next time.